Speech off.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to do the first half of what I added to Goodreads in August. Funnily enough, a lot of these books I found on my own. I have not been having as much luck in finding books this month, which is weird. Usually, there are some books that I found through booktubers, but not as many as normal. Which doesn't sound like it from my list, but let's just get started. So the first one I have is from the Wizarding Archives by J.K. Rowling. This is one I found on my own. Apparently, they are doing an audio collection of like all of the Pottermore articles that you found on the Pottermore website before, I guess, they took it down. Or I don't know what they did with that website, but they took down like a bunch of articles and stuff. So like all of this stuff that I was never able to read is going to be in one audiobook. I think you guys already have it available in print because when you look on Goodreads, there's part 1 and part 2. And then there's like, I guess, both parts in one book. I don't know. But whatever the case, that book is coming out soon on Audible. I forgot to write down the date, but I was super excited to find that out. And as a Potter fan, I'm in. And I know there's going to be a Harry Potter Harry Potter type readathon next month. Back to Hogwarts or something. I still need to pick out my books for that. But yeah, that is one that you guys could maybe listen to for that. I think Luminous Libro is hosting it and Alma's Book Journey. I need to look it up. But I will have you tagged if and when I find out. Anyway, but yeah, that is a book that you could potentially read. It's got like, I guess, a bunch of different like articles about the different characters, like just stuff that you wouldn't know about from the books that couldn't be included in the books. So exciting. Comes out at the end of August sometime. Then I have a Amish trilogy, the Annie's People books by Beverly Lewis. Chloe from Always Booked, she was reading them. And I've been wanting to read more Amish books lately. And I've been meaning to kind of delve into Beverly Lewis's collection to see what I wanted to read next. So, The Preacher's Daughter, The Englisher, and The Brethren. I'm not going to really talk about those just because they're a whole series. Next we have The Assistant by Nicole Trope. This one just came out a couple of days ago. Nicole Trope is one of my auto-buy authors. I don't know why I call her that because I have a ton of her books and I've only read 2 out of like the 10 I own, but they all sound so good, including this one. She knows about you, but can you trust her? I walk into my interview with Ava Green and carefully hand over my application. It's all made up, of course, but Ava doesn't have to know that. There is so much worry in her blue eyes. Her phone rings with constant messages, and a small stain marks her crisp shirt. Breakfast with her 2 little girls before heading out to this high-flying job every morning can't be easy. Ava needs me, I think, more than anything. The interview goes perfectly, because I have made myself into the perfect assistant. Now I just hope Ava never finds out why I'm really here. Not before she lets me into her home, and I meet her charming husband and get to babysit her children. Because I have plans for Ava. She just has to trust me. That is a real creepy. Right? Anyway, next one is Will You Help Me by Maggie Hartley. It's her newest fostering memoir. It comes out tomorrow, actually, which really sucks because the next few days is going to be like family stuff. And honestly, I can only take so much of hanging out with people. But it's going to be 2 weeks full of hanging out with people. Ugh, anyway. But it comes out tomorrow. It's her next fostering memoir. Then I have The Summer of Yes by Courtney Walsh. I've been hearing about this one from everyone under the sun. Christian and non-Christian booktubers alike. Chantel Reads All Day, Paperbacks and Ponytails, Book Lover Amanda, Chloe from Always Booked. I'm sure there's more, but I can't think of any. Those are the only ones I wrote down because those are the only ones I could remember. But I keep hearing about it, and it was on sale on Libro FM for $3.99. So why not? A near-death experience catapults workaholic junior editor Kelsey Worthington into changing her life, one yes at a time. Kelsey Worthington always dreamed of being a writer, but she settled into a routine of helping other people tell their stories in her job as a junior editor. She doesn't go outside of her comfort zone. Her relationships are safe. Her job is secure. Her existence is stable. And she's great with that. And then the accident. While she's in the hospital overnight, she meets an older woman named Georgina Tate, a glass ceiling shattering, wildly successful businesswoman. Georgina sacrificed everything to become the woman she is today, but now with a pair of failing kidneys and only a handful of months left to live, Georgina is forced to come face to face with her regrets. Kelsey is forced to reckon with her own list of things I'll do someday, and she starts to ask a simple but life-changing, what if I could say yes to all the things I normally say no to? And the yes plan is born. It takes some convincing, but Georgina finally agrees to go along with Kelsey on her summer of yes adventures. The two of them set off to see what might be out there, waiting for them if they simply open themselves up to it. Together, they say yes to whatever comes their way. A whole day. I'm going to stop talking now, because I don't want to say what they say yes to. So yeah, sounds like fun, like it could be. And then here's another one that I bought because it was on sale and everybody's been talking about this series. Authentically Izzy by Pepper Basham. Again, everyone has been talking about this. Same people on this list from the previous book, except I'm adding Krista from Books and Jams and Lou from Christian Faith and Fiction. Everybody's been talking about this series. I probably have more, but again, I can't remember. Just too many have been recommending this book. I guess these are epistolary novels. This one's the first one. The other ones I haven't bought yet because I want to see if I like this first. And they weren't on sale, so I'm not going to read the description for this one because you all know what it's about. You've probably already read it. And I want to get through this. So the next one is The Sisters of Auschwitz, the true story of two Jewish sisters' resistance in the heart of Nazi territory by Roxanne van Iperen. This one is about these two sisters who were in the concentration camps with Anne Frank and Margot Frank. I've seen their names. I already forgot their names. I didn't write the description just because it's a biography. But they were in the concentration camps with Anne and Margot, and you see them, like, their testimonials in, like, different Anne Frank type publications. So we get to read their story and all that. I think it's Lienche and Yanni. I can't pronounce their names. I'm very sorry. Anyway, so I found that one on sale and I bought it. Next one I found on sale is The Stepsisters by Susan Mallory. This one kind of sounded like another one I just read called For the Love of Summer, but this one's about stepsisters. So it's another kind of family relationship type book that's, anyway. Once upon a time, when her dad married Sage's mom, Daisy was thrilled to get a bright and shiny new sister. But Sage was popular and beautiful, everything Daisy was not, and she made sure Daisy knew it. Sage didn't have Daisy's smarts. She had to go back a grade to enroll in the fancy rich kid school. So she used her popularity as a weapon, putting Daisy down to elevate herself. After the divorce, the stepsisters' rivalry continued until the final improbable straw. Daisy married Sage's first love, and Sage fled California. 18 years, 2 kids, and 1 troubled marriage later, Daisy never expects or wants to see Sage again. But when the little sister they have in common needs them both, they put aside their differences to care for Cassidy. As long-buried truths are revealed, no one is more surprised than they when friendship blossoms. Their fragile truths, I can't speak, is threatened by one careless act that could have devastating consequences. They could turn their backs on each other again, or they could learn to forgive once and for all and finally become true sisters of the heart. So this one it really does sound a lot like For the Love of Summer, only instead of mom and stepmom becoming unlikely friends, these are like two stepsisters who aren't even stepsisters anymore because their parents ended up divorcing anyway. So technically they didn't have to have anything to do with each other at this point. So yeah. Then another one I found on sale was Crow Mary by Kathleen Grissom. She wrote The Kitchen House, so I, say no more. She's Kathleen Grissom. I want it. Now for some booktube recommendations. The Doll's House by Rumer Godden. Heard about this one from M's Books Are Everywhere. This one kind of reminded me of The Doll People by Ann M. Martin, that series. So, Toddy is a loving little wooden doll who lives with her family in a shoebox. The doll family are owned by two sisters, Emily and Charlotte, and are very happy, except for one thing. They long for a proper home. To their delight, their wish comes true when Emily and Charlotte fix up a Victorian doll's house just for them. It's perfect. But then a new arrival starts to wreak havoc in the doll's house. For Marchpane might be a wonderfully beautiful doll, but she is also terribly cruel, and she always gets her own way. So it sounds like a fight among the dolls. Wait. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's about a doll family who suddenly gets a rival doll. So this one actually reminds me of the second book in the Doll People, The Meanest Doll in the World. Next we have Lasagna Means I Love You by Kate I can't pronounce his last name. O'Shaughnessy? I heard about this one from Krista from Books and Jams. What are the essential ingredients that make a family? 11-year-old Mo is making up her own recipe. Nan was always all the family Mo ever needed, but suddenly she's gone, and Mo finds herself in foster care after her uncle decides she's not worth sticking around for. Nan left her a notebook and advised her to get a hobby, like ferret racing or palm reading. Ferret racing? Why ferret racing? That grandma must have been delusional on morphine on her deathbed when she suggested ferret racing. Anyway. But how could a hobby fix anything in her nearly topsy-turvy life? Then Mo finds a handmade cookbook filled with someone else's family recipes. Even though Nan never cooked, Mo can't tear her eyes away. Not so much from the recipes, but the stories attached to them. Though when she makes herself a pot of soup, it is every bit as comforting as the recipe note said. Soon Mo finds herself asking everyone she meets for their family recipes, teaching herself to make them, collecting the stories behind them, building a website to share them, and secretly hoping that a long-lost relative will find her and give her a family recipe all her own. But when everything starts to unravel again, Mo realizes that if she wants a family recipe or a real family, she's going to have to make it up herself. Sounds fun. Foster care story. Then we have The Story of Holly and Ivy by Rumer Godden. Funnily enough, this author comes up twice by two different booktubers. I heard about this one from Jen's Reading Life. Ivy, Holly, and Mr. and Mrs. Jones all have one Christmas wish. Ivy, an orphan, wishes for a real home and sets out in search of the grandmother she's sure she can find. Holly, adult, wishes for a child to bring her to life. And the Joneses wish more than anything for a son or daughter to share their holiday. Enough said. Those two by Rumer Godden are available on audio, but this next one is not, which sucks because I want it. It's an episode of Sparrows. This is like a Secret Gardens type story. Someone has dug up the private garden in the square and taken buckets of dirt, and Miss Angela Chesney of the garden committee is sure that a gang of boys from rundown Catford Street must be to blame. But Angela's sister, Olivia, isn't so sure. Olivia wonders why the neighborhood children, the sparrows she sometimes watches from the window out of her house, had to be locked out of the garden. Don't they have a right to enjoy the place, too? But neither Angela nor Olivia has any idea what sent the neighborhood waif Lovejoy Mason and her few friends in search of good garden earth. Still less do they imagine where their investigation of the incident will lead them. To a struggling restaurant, a bombed-out church, and at the heart of it all, a hidden garden. Doesn't that sound great? I want this book, and it's not available on audio anywhere. Or Braille. I'll get my hands on it somehow. Then we have An Island at War by Deborah Carr. It was on a book haul that Alma from Alma's Book Journey had. A moving historical novel about the German occupation of the Channel Islands. While her little sister Rose is sent to the UK to keep her safe from the invading German army, Estelle is left behind on Jersey to help her grandmother run the family farm. When the Germans occupy the island, everything changes, and Estelle and the islanders must face the reality of life under Nazi rule. Interspersed with letters from Rose back in London, the novel is also inspired by the real-life stories from the author's own family who were on the island during the occupation, and is a true testament to the courage and bravery of the islanders. Then I have a series. This is World War II Resistance series by Amanda Lease. I had the third book, The Midwife's Child, and then all the books sounded like I didn't have to read them together. Like they could be standalones, because none of them look like they go off each other, so to speak, like where you have to read them in order. But as soon as I started reading The Midwife's Child, I realized I had to stop because I didn't know what was happening. So I added the other two books to the series. So we have The Silence Before Dawn, Paris at First Light, and The Midwife's Child. It's about, I guess, resistance workers, resistance women in the war, or a resistance network, I guess. And I guess each one is kind of a love story type thing, too. So I'm going to have to read those in order. Then we have another book that's been making the rounds in the Christian fiction community. Beyond Ivy Walls by Rachel Fordham. I also own A Life Once Dreamed by Rachel Fordham. I haven't read it yet, but this one also sounds good. Beauty and the Beast means a light between oceans. In historic small-town America, where a wealthy, reclusive bachelor and an unlikely ally join forces to solve a family secret and inadvertently find belonging along the way. I'm not going to read anymore. Last one. It's called Praying with Jane Eyre, Reflections on Reading as a Sacred Practice by Vanessa Sultan. So this could be a hit or miss, because I got it because Vanessa Sultan is a host of a podcast that I used to listen to called Hot and Bothered. They basically go over classics, kind of talk about them from a modern lens. They're usually romances, so they went over Jane Eyre and Pride and Prejudice. And Vanessa Sultan was one of the hosts. And I guess she had written this book. But she's she's an atheist, so I'm a little hesitant on the Praying with Jane Eyre title. But she does have really good insight into Jane Eyre from the podcast, so I'm hoping to really enjoy her essays anyway. And it was on sale on audio, so I grabbed it. And she reads it, so all the more interesting. I'll let you know if I think it's any, I do know that she, like I said, is a staunch atheist, and she's not a fan of missionaries. So, yeah. I'm going in hesitantly. Anyway, those are all the books that I added to Goodreads so far. Hopefully get more in the second half of the month. So yeah, my next video will probably be my reading update. I didn't read that much in this month. I had like grandiose plans to like have a month with this amazing TBR of books, like all the books that I want to read, like that I keep putting off. I'm going to read them, and well, you guys recommended some too, and that did not happen because I got sick. I read some, just not as much as I thought I would. So I didn't do my weekly update the way I usually would. So we're doing a 2-week update. Honestly, this could end up being a monthly wrap-up anyway, just because the book I'm in the middle of, I'm not enjoying, so I don't really want to end my, like, first 2 weeks of reading on a low note. I'm hoping to end high. I don't like to do a reading wrap-up where I end on a bad note. So, I don't know. I'm thinking of starting the World War II Resistance series. I'm in the mood for World War II historical fiction. I don't know why. Probably because it's one of my favorite genres, and like I said, I'm reading what I want. So, yeah. Anyway, please like, comment, and subscribe. I actually got a few subscribers lately, because Lou from Christian Faith and Fiction has this list going with Christian fiction booktubers, so I'm getting a little bit more recognition, which is kind of nice. Honestly, it would be really cool to get to 200 before my birthday, but it's a week away, so probably not happening. Anyway, yeah. Like I said, please like, comment, and subscribe. It doesn't have to be today. And I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye. Oh, yeah. And let me know how this setup works. I'm curious to know if there's any difference in, like, the way I visually look with the lamp on. I have a new lamp. So, anyway, talk to you later. Bye.